Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Medicine in the United States costs a very high amount of money. This is a major problem for many people living in the country. When people are not healthy, they often need medicine to feel better and recover. For some individuals, taking medicine every single day is necessary to stay healthy and manage long-term conditions. But the price for these medicines is often much higher in America compared to other places. Because of this high cost, many people find it very difficult to afford the medicine they truly need. This situation can create a big worry for families. Paying for necessary medicine can take a large part of their income. This is a serious problem that a great number of Americans want to see fixed. They strongly hope that medicine can become more affordable for everyone. Because the cost of medicine is so high, leaders in the government want to help the people. There is a new idea, a new plan that aims to lower these high prices significantly. This new plan is coming from the government. The most important goal of this plan is to make medicines cost less money for all people living in the country. If medicines are cheaper, it means that more people will be able to buy them when they are sick or when they need them for their health. This change could help many people feel better in their daily lives and potentially live healthier, longer lives. The plan tries to change the way drug prices are decided in the U.S. The government wants to find a new, perhaps fairer, way to set these prices so they are not such a heavy financial burden. This book is written to help you understand this important new plan. Inside, we will look closely at why medicines cost so much money in America compared to other developed nations. It is very helpful to understand the reasons behind these high prices. We will also discuss in detail what the government is proposing to do with this new plan. We will try our best to understand the different parts of the plan and how they are supposed to work. We want to see how this plan might work in the real world. It is very important for people to know what this new plan could mean for their lives and their health care. It has the potential to change how people get their medicine and how much they pay for it. It could also change things for the large companies that make and sell the medicine. We will study all these things carefully in the chapters that follow. The new plan hopes to make a very big difference for American families. A core and important idea within the plan is that people in America should not have to pay much more for their medicine than people living in other developed countries. It is often true that the exact same medicine costs much less in other places around the world. The plan specifically wants to make prices in America more like those lower prices that are paid in other nations. We will explore all the important details of this plan step by step in the next chapters of this book. We will look at the specific actions and steps the government wants to take to make these changes happen. We will also think about the possible good things that could result from this plan, and we will look at the possible problems or challenges that the plan might face. Understanding this plan is very important for everyone. It is about health, it is about money, and it is about making essential medicines accessible. This book is here to help you learn more about this significant topic. 2. Why U.S. drugs cost more. Medicines in the United States often cost a lot of money. This is a big worry for many people. When you look at the US compared to other rich countries, Americans usually pay much more for the same medicines. For example, a study in the year 2021 showed that drugs in the US were often 2 to 4 times more expensive than in places like Canada or France. This means people in America spend a lot more money just to get the medicine they need to stay healthy. One main reason for these high prices is the American healthcare system. It is very different from systems in other countries. It has many parts and is quite complex. Many people get health insurance from their jobs. Others buy their own plans. The government also has large programs like Medicare for older people and Medicaid for people with less money. With so many different groups buying drugs and many different insurance plans, there is no one strong group that buys for everyone. This makes it hard to ask for and get lower prices. In many other developed countries, the government is a much bigger buyer of medicines. Their systems are often more central. This means the government can talk directly with drug companies. They can make deals and set prices for medicines for the whole country. Because they buy for so many people, they have strong power to ask for lower costs. If they think a drug is too expensive, they can even choose not to buy it. This helps keep medicine costs lower for people in those countries. The United States does not have this kind of system where one group negotiates prices for everyone. Because the system has many different parts, it is difficult to make deals for the lowest prices for all Americans. Also, drug companies are powerful. They spend a lot of money talking to people in the government. This is sometimes called lobbying. Some leaders say these efforts by drug companies, sometimes called Big Pharma, make it very hard to pass laws that could lower drug prices. They say the drug lobby is very strong. Some people also say that because Americans pay such high prices, it helps drug companies sell their medicines for less money in other countries. It is like the US helps cover the costs for other places. Another problem is that drug prices in the US are often not very clear. It can be hard to find out the real cost of a medicine. There are list prices, but then there are often secret deals and discounts for some buyers. This makes it confusing. This lack of clearness makes it difficult for everyone to understand the true prices and to try to control them. The complex system and the power of drug companies are key reasons why medicines cost so much more in the United States compared to other rich nations. 3. Old ways to help. Making medicines cost less is not a new idea in the United States. For many years, leaders have seen that high drug prices are a big problem for people. Because of this, they have tried different ways to help lower these costs. They wanted to make it simpler for everyone to buy the medicines they needed. Different presidents and politicians have worked on this problem. For example, President Trump tried to do something about high drug prices during his first time as president. Other leaders, like President Biden, also looked for ways to make medicines more affordable. This was not just an issue for one political group. Leaders from both main political parties in the US agreed that drug costs were too high. They understood that many American families had trouble paying for their medicines. One way they tried to help was by looking closely at specific medicines that cost a lot and are very important. For instance, there were efforts to lower the price of insulin. Insulin is a medicine that people with diabetes must have to stay alive. But even with these special tries, the cost of insulin and many other needed drugs often stayed high for a lot of people. It showed that helping with just one drug did not fix the whole problem. Another idea leaders thought about was bringing cheaper drugs into the US from other countries. In many other places around the world, the exact same medicines are sold for much lower prices. So the plan was to import these less expensive drugs. But this idea had big difficulties. There were important safety rules to think about. It was also hard because of trade rules between countries. These rules made it difficult to import medicines easily and safely. So this plan did not make prices lower for most people. In the past, people also talked about making the prices of drugs more open and easy to see. Sometimes it is very confusing to find the real cost of a medicine. The idea was that if prices were clearer, this might naturally help to make them lower. Some small changes were made to show prices a little better. But these small steps were not big enough to fix the main problem of very high costs. So, why did these past tries not completely solve the problem? A main reason is that the companies that make drugs are very powerful. They have a lot of money and can talk directly to government leaders. This is often called lobbying. These drug companies usually want to keep prices high because they earn more money. Because of this, they often try to stop new laws or rules that could make their medicines cheaper. The power of the drug companies was a big challenge. Also, the health system in America is quite complex. There are many different parts and they all connect. This makes it very hard to change one thing, like drug prices, without causing other issues in the system. Even though these past efforts did not fully fix the high drug prices, some useful things were learned. It became clear that this is a very difficult problem to solve. Leaders also understood that any small step towards lower prices or clearer information was a good thing. However, the most important lesson was that drug prices in the US stayed very high for most regular people. The old ways helped a little, but it was clear that a much bigger change was still needed. Government leaders knew they had to keep looking for better ways to help in the future. 4. A new plan for prices. President Trump has a new plan to lower medicine costs. This plan comes from his second time as president. The main goal is to make drug prices in the United States much lower. People in America often pay very high prices for medicines. This new plan wants to fix this problem so people can afford the drugs they need. The plan's big idea is that US prices should be like the low prices in other countries. Many other developed countries pay less for the same medicines. If a medicine is cheaper in a country like Canada, this plan wants Americans to pay a similar low price. A key part is the most favored nation idea. This means drug companies would be asked to offer medicines in the US at the lowest price they sell them for in another developed country. The government believes this could cause prices to fall a lot. Some hope prices might drop by 30% or even more for some drugs. How will this new plan try to achieve lower prices? One part suggests drug companies could sell more medicines directly to people. This might mean people do not always use insurance companies to get their drugs. Cutting out these middle steps could reduce costs. The government will also try to make better deals for drug prices. Officials will look at prices paid by other countries. They will work to ensure Americans are not charged unfair prices. Another idea is importing drugs from foreign countries where they are sold for less. This could increase cheaper medicines. This new plan is at an early stage. The government will start discussions with drug companies. These talks will be about how to put these new ideas into action. However, some parts of the plan are not fully clear yet. For example, the exact meaning of an unreasonable price still needs to be defined. It is also not certain what steps the government will take if drug companies do not agree to lower prices. These details need to be worked out. The main purpose of this new idea is to help American people pay less for their medicines. It uses lower prices in other countries as a guide. The plan also aims to change how medicines are bought and sold in the U.S. The hope is to create a system that is fairer and more affordable. This new approach is a big effort to address high drug costs. Many people want to see if these changes will bring real relief. 5. Drug companies speak. The companies that make medicine are not happy about the new plan. Many of them have said they do not like it. They have big worries about what the plan could do. One main worry for these companies is about finding new medicines. They say it costs a lot of money to make a new drug. It also takes a very long time, many years. They need money to do this work. They say if the price of medicines goes down, they will have less money. With less money, they cannot do important research. This research helps them find new ways to help people who are sick. It helps find cures and new treatments for serious illnesses. The companies think the plan could stop new, important drugs from being made. They believe this would be bad for people who need medicine to get better or stay healthy. They feel it could stop medical progress. The companies also say the plan is not fair. They do not like the idea of using prices from other countries to decide prices in America. One person from a group of drug companies said that taking prices from some other countries would be a bad deal for people in America. They think each country's health system is different. What works in one country might not work well in the United States. They believe it is wrong to compare prices in this simple way. Another big worry is for small drug companies. There are many small companies that have new ideas for medicines. These companies are often called biotech companies. They need a lot of money to keep working and to pay for their research. If the price of medicines goes down a lot, these small companies might not be able to continue. They might have to close. This could mean fewer new ideas for medicines and fewer new drugs in the future. Someone from a group of these small companies said the plan could hurt them very badly. This could cause big problems for many small businesses that are working to find new ways to help people's health. Drug companies also think the plan might not work the way the government hopes. They say it could even make things worse for people who need medicine. For example, it might become harder for people to get some medicines. Or companies might decide to stop selling their drugs in other countries where the price is lower. They might do this so they do not have to lower the price in the United States. Some people who study this say that if prices in the US become like prices in countries in Europe, Americans might not get the newest drugs quickly. This is because other countries might not pay enough for these new medicines. This could mean people in America do not live as long or are not as healthy as they could be. The companies feel that sick people and their families are caught in the middle of a big fight, like a trade war. They believe people who are sick should not be used in this way. Because drug companies do not like the plan so much, they will probably try to stop it. They might go to court to fight the plan. They might also talk to the people who make laws in Congress. They will try to change the plan or stop it completely. They believe the plan will hurt patients and stop important new medicines from being found. They say they want to help people with the cost of medicine, but they do not think this new plan is the right way to do it. 6. Will this plan work? The new plan wants to make medicines cheaper in the United States. Many people hope this will happen, but will the plan really work? This is a big question, and it is not easy to know the answer right now. It is hard to say if drug prices will go down a lot. Some people who know much about medicine prices are not sure about the plan. They say it is difficult to change how much drugs cost in America. The plan talks about prices going down by a large amount, perhaps by 30% or even 80% for some drugs. But these experts think such big changes might not happen very quickly. There are parts of the plan that are not very clear yet. These unclear details make it hard to know exactly what will happen in the future. However, other experts think that trying to make prices lower is a good idea. Even if the changes are small, they see it as a step in the right direction. They say it is good to try to make prices more open and easy for people to understand. One important part of the plan is the idea to ask drug companies to sell medicines in the US at the lowest price they sell them for in other countries. This sounds like a strong way to get lower prices for Americans. But the plan does not clearly say what will happen if drug companies do not want to do this. Will the companies be forced to lower their prices? This part is not clear. Drug companies might say that they are already selling their medicines at good prices. It can be hard for people to know the real price of drugs because of discounts and different buyers. The plan also suggests that drug companies could sell medicines directly to people. This could mean that people would not buy their medicines through insurance companies. Another idea in the plan is to bring cheaper medicines into the US from other countries where they cost less. But in the past, these ideas have faced problems. There are important rules about safety for medicines that come from other places. Also, drug companies might not like these changes, and they might try to stop them. Some people think that drug companies could even stop selling their drugs in countries where prices are cheaper. They might do this so they do not have to lower their prices in the United States based on those lower foreign prices. When the government first spoke about this new plan, the value of some big drug companies went down a little bit on the stock market. This sometimes happens when there is news that could affect businesses, but soon after, their value went up again. This might mean that people who invest money do not believe the plan will cause a very big change to drug prices quickly. They might think that things could stay mostly the same for a while. So, can this plan truly help people pay less for their medicines? It is hard to say for sure right now. Some parts of the plan could be helpful and might lead to lower costs, but there are also many things that could make it difficult for the plan to work well. The plan is a start, a first step, but making medicines cheaper for everyone in the US is a very big job. It might face strong challenges from drug companies who want to keep prices high. Some experts believe it will not change much for many ordinary people. However, for some, any effort to make costs lower is seen as a positive move. The future will show if this new plan works well and brings real relief to people struggling with high medicine prices. 7. What people want. Many people in America think a lot about the cost of medicine. These costs are often very high. This is a big problem for many people and families. Paying for the drugs they need to stay healthy can be very difficult. This worry affects their daily lives. It is a constant concern for many. When medicine costs a lot, families have to make hard choices. They might spend less on other important things like food or rent. This can be very stressful. Older people and those with illnesses that last a long time find these high prices especially hard. They often need many medicines regularly. The stress of affording these drugs can affect people's overall health, not just their money. People in America often hear that medicine costs less in other countries. For example, in Canada, Australia, and France, the same drugs can be 2 to 4 times cheaper. This makes many Americans wonder why they pay so much more. They want a system where medicine is more affordable, like in other developed nations. They hope for changes that will bring prices down in the United States. This wish for fairness is common. Because so many people worry about drug costs, it is an important topic for politicians. Leaders from different political parties talk about this problem. They know that voters care about finding solutions to high medicine prices. Ideas to lower drug prices are often discussed during elections and in government. This shows how much people want action on this issue. It is a concern for many different kinds of people. Studies and polls show that high drug costs are one of the biggest worries people have about health care in the US. It is often a top concern. Therefore, any plan that aims to reduce these prices is usually very popular. Even if a plan might only help a little or take time, many people see it as a good step. They want efforts to make prices fairer and more open. The hope is that medicine will not be such a big financial worry. What most people want is simple. They want to afford the medicines they need to stay healthy. They do not want to choose between their health and other essential things like food or housing. The desire for lower drug prices is strong across the country. It is a basic need for many people and their families. They look to leaders and new ideas for real help. Making medicine affordable is a key concern for American families. 8. The future path. Making medicines cost less money is a very big job. The new plan to do this is now starting, but the road ahead is long and hard. It will take time to see big changes. This plan is important, but it is only the beginning. Right now, not everything about the new plan is clear. There are many small parts that people still need to decide. The government will need to explain more about how some ideas will work. For example, they need to say what a fair price means for drugs. It will take time to make these details clear for everyone, including patients. The government will need to talk a lot with drug companies. These talks are a very important step. They will try to agree on how to make prices lower. These discussions might be long and not always easy. Both sides will share their ideas and worries. Finding agreement will be important. It is possible that some drug companies will not like the new plan. They might say the plan is not fair or will cause problems. If they do not agree, they could try to stop it. They might go to court to argue against the plan. Or they might talk to lawmakers in Congress to try and change it or stop it. This could make things take more time. Drug companies often say that making new medicines costs a lot of money. This research helps find new treatments. They worry that if they earn less money from drugs, they will have less money for this research. They say this could mean fewer new medicines in the future. This is a main reason they might oppose plans for lower prices. Some experts think the plan could help people pay less, but other experts are not so sure it will be easy. They say it is very hard to change drug prices in America. The health system is not simple. The government must work very hard to make the plan successful. It will need strong leaders who keep trying even with problems. Everyone will need to be patient. Even if the road ahead is difficult, many people are hopeful. They want medicine to be easier to buy. Any step that makes prices more open and fair is a good thing. Even small changes can help families who struggle with costs. The hope is that this new plan will bring some real help. It will need a lot of effort, but lower drug prices are something many Americans want. What do you think about the future of medicine prices in the United States?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.